This is the true story of a historic mansion where the owner claimed shadow figures moved through the halls, and certain objects inside the house carried something deeply disturbing. An elegant estate, unexplained footsteps, and a house with a reputation that grew darker over time. Our journey into the chilling history of Baleroy Mansion begins in 1911, when this imposing structure first rose from the ground in Philadelphia. Designed with an exquisite blend of European-inspired architecture, its grand facade and meticulously crafted antique interiors immediately set it apart. It was conceived not just as a house, but as a statement. A prestigious private residence destined to host society's elite and stand as a monument to timeless elegance. In its nascent years, Baleroy Mansion was a beacon of sophistication, its halls echoing with the laughter of guests and the quiet hum of domestic life. Publicly, there was nothing to suggest the sinister reputation it would later acquire. It was simply a magnificent home, a testament to wealth and refined taste, seemingly untouched by the shadows that would eventually consume its narrative. As the decades unfolded, the mansion's character began to subtly shift. Its owner, a figure of considerable means and eccentric tastes, embarked on a relentless quest to fill Baleroy's vast rooms with historical artifacts and unusual objects from across the globe. This was no mere hobby. It was an evolving obsession. The owner developed a profound interest not only in antiques, but also in subjects that veered sharply into the paranormal, the occult, spiritualism, and the mysteries that lay beyond the veil of conventional understanding. Each new acquisition, from ancient relics to peculiar curios, seemed to imbue the mansion with a heavier, more enigmatic atmosphere. The air within Baleroy grew thick with untold stories, the whispers of forgotten eras, and the silent energies of objects that had witnessed centuries of human experience. What began as a collection slowly transformed into a curated museum of the strange and the unsettling. And with it, the very essence of the house became increasingly associated with an aura of profound mystery. It wasn't long before this burgeoning atmosphere began to manifest in tangible, albeit inexplicable, ways. The first whispers of the paranormal emerged as isolated incidents easily dismissed by the rational mind. Servants and occasional guests reported strange occurrences, the distinct sound of footsteps echoing through empty rooms, as if an unseen presence paced the polished floors. Doors that would swing open or shut with no discernible draft or human intervention. And most unsettling of all, the pervasive sensation of being watched. A prickling awareness that someone or something was always just beyond one's line of sight. These early claims were sporadic, often attributed to the creaks and groans of an old house settling, or perhaps the overactive imaginations of those within its walls. Yet each incident, however minor, chipped away at the mansion's veneer of normalcy, laying the groundwork for the far more terrifying phenomena that were yet to come. The isolated incidents soon gave way to something far more concrete and terrifying: the sightings of shadow figures. Witnesses, often caught off guard in the quiet solitude of the mansion's late hours, began to describe dark, human-shaped forms, moving silently through the long, ornate hallways. These figures were not mere tricks of light or fleeting shadows cast by the moon. They were distinct, albeit ephemeral, entities that appeared briefly before vanishing into thin air, leaving behind a profound sense of dread and disbelief. Encounters often occurred late at night, when the mansion was cloaked in silence, amplifying the terror of these fleeting apparitions. The fear among visitors and staff grew exponentially, transforming the once prestigious residence into a place where every darkened corner and every unexpected sound held the potential for a chilling encounter. The shadow figures became the mansion's most infamous residents, their silent patrols a constant reminder of the unseen world encroaching upon the living. Among the myriad of antiques and curiosities that filled Baleroy Mansion, certain objects began to acquire a particularly sinister reputation. These were the alleged cursed objects, items believed to be conduits for malevolent forces, triggering unusual and often terrifying activity. One artifact, in particular, stood out. A piece shrouded in dark rumors, whispered to be connected to a string of repeated paranormal events. Stories circulated among those who dared to remain within the mansion's walls. Sudden, overwhelming feelings of dread that would wash over individuals when in proximity to the object. Inexplicable disturbances, such as objects falling or lights flickering, occurring precisely when the cursed item was nearby, and a marked increase in reports of apparitions and other spectral phenomena, all seemingly emanating from its dark influence. These objects were not merely decorative. They were anchors for the supernatural, drawing the mansion deeper into the abyss of its own haunting. As the years passed, the paranormal activity within Baleroy Mansion escalated dramatically, moving beyond fleeting glimpses and subtle disturbances to more overt and terrifying manifestations. Visitors and residents alike began to report a litany of chilling experiences that defied rational explanation. Heavy footsteps, impossibly loud and deliberate, would thunder overhead in empty rooms, shaking the very foundations of the house. Icy cold spots would materialize in specific areas, sending shivers down spines regardless of the ambient temperature. Sudden, unexplained noises, disembodied whispers, faint cries, or the crash of unseen objects would pierce the silence, leaving those who heard them paralyzed with fear. Most pervasive was the overwhelming feeling of intense unease, a constant, suffocating dread that clung to the air, making every moment within the mansion a test of nerves. Baleroy Mansion was no longer just a house with a few strange stories. It had gained a local reputation as a truly haunted place, a nexus of paranormal activity that drew both fear and morbid fascination. The mansion's growing notoriety inevitably attracted widespread public interest, drawing the attention of those who sought to understand, or perhaps exploit, its dark secrets. Paranormal investigators, armed with their equipment and theories, descended upon Baleroy, eager to document and explain the phenomena. Curious visitors, driven by a mix of skepticism and morbid curiosity, flocked to its gates, hoping for a glimpse of the supernatural. Stories of the mansion's hauntings spread like wildfire, fueled by interviews with former residents. Sensationalized accounts in local publications and the ever-present human desire for a good ghost story. Baleroy Mansion transcended its status as a private residence, becoming a cultural touchstone forever associated with haunting legends, and the chilling possibility that the veil between worlds was thinner within its ancient walls. Its reputation grew, cementing its place in the annals of American folklore. Despite the compelling nature of the paranormal claims, skeptical explanations always lingered, offering a counter-narrative to the supernatural. Many attempted to rationalize the strange occurrences within Baleroy Mansion, suggesting that the phenomena were products of the human mind, rather than spectral entities. Psychological suggestion, influenced by the mansion's burgeoning reputation, could easily lead individuals to misinterpret ordinary events. The natural noises of an old, sprawling structure, creaking timbers, shifting foundations, and the play of wind through ancient eaves could be mistaken for footsteps or disembodied sounds. Furthermore, the intricate architecture and antique-filled rooms, with their deep shadows and reflective surfaces, could easily lead to the misinterpretation of shadows and environmental effects, creating the illusion of fleeting figures. To this day, no verified scientific evidence has ever definitively confirmed paranormal activity within Baleroy Mansion, leaving the door open for both believers and skeptics to interpret its mysteries through their own lenses. Regardless of the explanations, the Baleroy Mansion remains inextricably linked to its chilling past. Its stories of hauntings and cursed artifacts have endured, passed down through generations, evolving and deepening with each retelling. Accounts of strange occurrences and spectral encounters have continued through later decades, ensuring that the legend never fades. The mansion's dark allure has transcended its physical location, growing beyond the local area to become a nationally recognized tale of the supernatural. It stands as a testament to the enduring power of mystery and the human fascination with the unknown, a place where history and horror intertwine. A mansion filled with antiques and history, stories passed from one witness to another, and reports that never fully disappeared. Was it an atmosphere shaped by fear and expectation? A collective delusion born from the mansion's dark aesthetic and the owner's eccentricities? Or did something truly malevolent? The truth, perhaps, is as elusive as the shadow figures themselves, forever haunting the halls of Baleroy Mansion.